So there's a lot of buzz going on about the Chappelle Special 846. It seemed to me like a lot of people on the right were getting worked up about some of the material that was covered. So I wanted to watch it for myself. Now, let me qualify this first by saying this. I think that, and I've always thought this, I thought Dave Chappelle was always pretty much overrated. People try to call him the GOAT or whatever. No. I got to see Eddie Murphy. I got to see Richard Pryor as a kid. Not even. I've always felt he was overrated. But he did have some hilarious skits, and I will give him that. There were a lot of hilarious stuff he did on the Chappelle Show. The Wayne Brady skit he did, that was great. And I've used pieces of that in some of my other videos. So you had the Wayne Brady one. That Rick James skit was crazy. That thing will have you dying if you haven't seen that. The White Klansman, Clayton Bigsby, that was another one. Now, I'm not going to act like I've seen all of his work. There was one where he played a crackhead as well in some of his skits. And I can't recall his name in that one. I could have looked it up, but I'm lazy. But those were mildly funny. A lot of the other stuff he had was really, it's like that mediocre meal you had at a restaurant 2 weeks ago. You barely remember the restaurant's name and you barely could remember what you ate. If you can even remember. But I wanted to go and talk about this just briefly. Now, there were a couple things he talked about in there that were pretty funny. I like the Ja Rule reference that he made there about how Jeffrey got asked about things for certain events, 9/11 being one of them. And he talked about Jeffrey saying, who cares what he thinks? Then he went on to, in his special, say, oh, well, I don't need to speak right now. The streets will speak. I trust you guys, yada, yada, yada. But then he went on to speak. So it's kind of contradictory. Now, something that was funny, and this is what I talk about comedians who use low-hanging fruit. He talked about Candice Owens, and this was something that conservatives seem to get a little bit excited about. He made reference to her part down there possibly being a little bit fishy. Let's just say that. Now, people in the audience thought it was funny. I guess it was shot in Ohio. I can't recall the town it was in. I guess he lives there now. So it's a pro-Chappelle crowd, obviously. And those kind of jokes, they're good for laughs, but it's cheap to me. Like I've always said, it's like telling a Trump joke, or when Obama was out there effing up during his run, telling an Obama joke. It's easy to do, right? So when I look at comedy, I appreciate somebody who gives me something different, something that's hard to do. So to talk about any kind of conservative personality, and even kind of like an outrageous left-winger, for instance, those kind of things are easy. So here's what I would say regarding that. He said she was articulate but ignorant is what he was saying. And then he made the references about her stinky vagismus. Then he was saying, oh, I don't know if it does stink, but if I do find out, I'll let you know. And then he said, well, but I do suspect that it does stink. And then the audience got kind of a chuckle. The thing I thought was funny was, have you seen his wife? Have you seen her? Have you seen how he looks? First of all, if you saw the special, what's up with Dave coming out with that spandex shirt on? It looked like he was pregnant. Maybe he's crossing over. But have you seen his wife? If anybody has any kind of smell coming off of them, and Dave would recognize when women do have smells coming off of them, because his wife, no doubt, has a stinky pussy. No doubt. Have you seen her? My God. And how many kids has she pushed out? Can you imagine that gap on her? Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, right, Chappelle? But that's my point. See how easy it is to make jokes like that? Low-hanging fruit. Doesn't make me a comedian. I can say the same thing. I can say F Trump. I can say F the police. I can say F Obama. That stuff's easy. It bores me. It doesn't impress me at all. He did talk about a couple things, though. The Chris Dorner situation. I'm not fully aware of that. I need to do some more research on that. But if it went down how he said it went down, then yeah, that's a truly effed up situation. To be fired for reporting your partner for something she did wrong to a suspect. Again, I didn't do extra research on that. I just watched the thing last night and I made some notes as I was watching it. But yeah, that'd be a bad situation. He talked about Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. He went into all these other names of these individuals, and they're all losers. But that's the thing. Oh, he didn't deserve to die for selling cigarettes on the street. That's not why he died. People always simplify this stuff. Oh, Rayshard Brooks, he died. He was just sitting in his car in the parking lot. People never seem to take that extra step and tell you what really happened. And that's how you can tell the bias creeps in. And that's how you can tell who you're dealing with. When they won't tell you the full story and then give their opinion. If your opinion's different, that's fine. Give the full story at least. When somebody won't give the full story, how can you have any credibility or any belief in their credibility? That's just how I see it. And the special was edited. But again, like I talked about before, they show this photo of Trevor, whatever his name was, when he was 14 or 15. They don't show the pathetic loser that he turned out to be when he was 17. You know the photos. I've shown them before in my other videos. He further went on to talk about cops that were shot in Dallas after the Ferguson protests, I believe, and then 4 other cops that were shot by black veterans. It seemed like he was excusing it. Oh, you see, why is it that black guys are the ones doing this? It's because of this or that. He went on to make this statement that really made me think about this. He said, any N-word that survives this nightmare is a hero. That's great. What's the context to that? What about everybody out there in the streets that doesn't survive because black individuals are out there killing each other at these high rates? So you couple that with the crime that's committed. You can look at the numbers. You can hate me if you want. That's fine, but look at the numbers. Again, it's what I always say. I don't care about this BS story that you're trying to spin to fit your narrative. Tell me the whole story. Tell me all the statistics. Tell me everything I need to know. Tell me everything I need to know about what's going on. Stop trying to lie to these people during your special to get them to come onto your side to believe whatever story that you're trying to spin here. Yeah, I agree. People who survive the nightmare are heroes, but the nightmare isn't what I think he's trying to tell you it is. He's specifically talking about all these cases of police brutality, this and that, deaths. Again, he's a phony to me. He's a phony just like every celebrity out there. He's a phony just like every person on Twitter running their mouth. Oh, George Floyd, ooh. And you don't care one bit about the 4,000 black people that were killed by other black people in a given year. That was a statistic from 2019, I believe, was roughly about 4,000. And you can go ahead and check those statistics. They obviously change from year to year, but I'm not an idiot. These people out here that believe this stuff, they believe the BLM lies and the bullshit, they're idiots. You have to be able to do the research for yourself. You have to see what life is really like out there. You have to see what is really happening. And we used to get accurate numbers like this until it became racist to actually show BLS statistics. It became racist to show what people are out here doing to each other in the streets. And then you have idiots like Chappelle out here lying to people. Do they really not know? And this would be for any black individual, white individual, any color, anybody who doesn't tell me the full story about what's going on in the streets and all these people dying by the thousands and nobody giving a fuck until one criminal dies. The Chauvin situation sucked. I've said it many times. He's in the justice system. It'll work out the way it needs to work out. To be out here acting like this loser, George Floyd, is some kind of hero. This guy's a loser. He's a nobody. He's got a criminal record. He's a deadbeat dad. He's a cokehead. He had coke at his arrest. Passing a counterfeit 20, allegedly, to buy cigarettes away from his kids. What kind of dad is he? That's not the point, though. The point is I hate when people lie. when they conceal facts to try to get you to believe a certain thing. You've seen my other videos. I'm genuine about my stuff. I don't want to see this shit happen. I don't want to see people out here dying in the streets. I don't want to see people committing crime. I don't want to see people in a situation where they feel unsafe, can't even go outside. I lived in Singapore. You never had to worry about anything there. You wouldn't even see the cops. Why do we have a situation in the United States where these other individuals are complicit? They're putting these criminals on a pedestal. They're acting like crime doesn't exist. They're acting like certain people don't disproportionately commit crime. They're acting like the cops are the problem. And like I've always said, it's a mentality problem. You have to call the BS out where it comes from, at its source. That's the only way to solve the problem. And it's so disappointing because Chappelle and these other athletes, celebrities, entertainers, how many people are going to see my video? YouTube may block it. Nobody would care what I say. Nobody in the black community, brown, whomever, white, criminals, nobody would care what I say. But when Chappelle, with his amount of followers, when you have these dummies like LeBron James always out there making their bigoted comments, always stirring the pot, and you wonder why you have a situation where there's so much racial animus. These individuals can do so much to bring individuals together if they were just truthful with the situation. They may say, oh, we're sick of this. We're sick of that. I'm fucking sick and tired of seeing people dying every day on the streets, killing each other, and nobody's saying shit about it. And then they act like one loser who dies, that he's some hero. You're a phony. If you don't call out the root of the problem, you're a phony. If you sit here and back BLM with their BS, you're a phony. We live in a society where most of us get it. Stick to our own, stick with our family, stick with our loved ones. But we've got these pieces of garbage and their enablers who are out there causing trouble. And that's why I say these celebrities, man, they have such a powerful voice. The media as well. Athletes, they can do so much. The politicians even. They can do so much with the voice that they have that we don't have. But yet all they do is cover it up. They lie. They won't tell you the accurate statistics. They won't tell you the problems in the home that start with single motherhood or a kid being raised with only one parent. It's always this, oh, systemic this, systemic that. The problem starts in the home. And until you have individuals calling it out and not being afraid to call it out, and we're talking about high profile individuals, the power that somebody like an Obama could have, a LeBron, a Dave Chappelle. And I'm not saying they don't try to call it out sometimes, but the power they could have if they, instead of try to create division all the time, which they're very good at, if they try to bring people together. Like I said, I think I've ranted enough. I think you get where I stand on this stuff. I hate that we have a society where people have to be fearful, where there's no respect back and forth between individuals, not just law enforcement, but back and forth between everybody, where you have to fear for your safety because you can see the statistics and you see out there people covering stuff up. The fix is in, the media's in on it. Why? Why are people covering this stuff up? I'll never understand. Actually, I take that back. It's all about money. I get it. I've said it before in my other videos, so I don't even know why I just said that, but I get it. The more that individuals who have power and influence can lie and divide, the more they can keep us apart, the more they can keep us at each other's throats, the more that generates money. And it's sad that we live in a country where individuals who we should be able to count on to help bring us together and help make this country even greater than it is now, they aren't doing anything. You can say whatever name you want in terms of who those individuals are, but it's sad. It's really sad. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to my rant. Those are my thoughts about the Chappelle special. Not really a comedy. Again, like I said, I felt like he's overrated, but accountability. Never talks about it. Not one bit. Maybe he does in other aspects of his life, but until accountability happens, you're going to have the situation where his wife continues to have a stinky pussy until she takes accountability and washes that thing. I'm having fun with it. See how easy it was, like I said. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for watching the rant. Hope you all are doing well.